Yo guys, what's good? My name is Callum Dolby and welcome back to another video on the channel. And you can see from the smile on my face, yet again we are talking about another Peterborough United win and another 3 points, and we're getting closer and closer to them playoffs. I tell you, I think we're only about 5 or 6 points away now, depending on how the results went. I looked at the in sort of in play table, and I think we're only like 6 or 7 points away. And I'm absolutely buzzing at the minute. It's a brilliant time to be a POSH fan, and I'm loving making these videos because I get to talk about positive performances and I get to talk about players that are playing well. There are some players that play badly today, but you know, we'll get into that in the player ratings. But I love talking about my team playing well. I mean, it's nice to have a rant and a rave every now and then and get stuff off your chest, but let's talk about celebrating the players that play for our football club and the players that actually care about what we're trying to achieve and the steps we're trying to make on and off the pitch. I'm really buzzing, and I can't wait to get into it. So let's get straight into the game. I thought it was another sort of game where we missed a lot of chances. I think we, a bit like the Reading game, we probably could have scored 4 or 5 today easily. And to be honest, I'd rather that. I mean, it's one thing winning a game and not taking your chances, but it's another when you're drawing and losing. And you're not creating anything at all. You know, when we were under Fergie, we didn't ever look like scoring. You know, that first half of the, well, not first half, but first sort of 10 to 15 games in that season was rough, man. I mean, there was probably maybe one game where we played well, if that. And we just, and that's something we've always pride ourselves on, right? Is scoring goals and attacking play, wingers bombing on and fullbacks overlapping and strikers scoring goals for fun and getting golden boots left, right and centre. And I feel like that feel good factor is really coming back to the club right now. I think it's a bit of a different vibe with Williams. He's very sort of positive in the way that he speaks about his players. You know, everyone's a leader on the pitch, everyone's a captain. He builds his players up, and he's you know, everyone's brilliant in his eyes, and you know, he doesn't throw anyone under the bus. And I'm really happy and really proud that he's the manager of the club that I support. You know, this appointment was pretty much faultless. I mean, we had a bit of a rough patch where I think the players let him down, but I generally think that was, looking back now with hindsight, I think that was just them learning the new system, and I think it might have been a little bit of burnout as well, because the training's a lot harder, we're pressing a lot harder, and that's a lot to take on a body where you've been under a different system where your fitness is not like at the level of a Williams system. You know, under Fergie we weren't as fit. You know, players were pulling up with cramp all the time. But now we're absolutely beasting it into, you know, the 95th minute. No one's pulling up with cramp. You know, no one's going down you know, injured during the game, like apart from Mendy a couple of weeks ago. But we know how bad his fitness is. And yeah, we're just absolutely bossing it. I will just say as well, I'm recording this literally 5 minutes after the game ended, so if I am a bit too positive, then just sort of allow me a little bit. You know, I'm just really happy with the result, and I've come straight upstairs and straight on the record, and I'm just really buzzing at the minute. I'm really excited to watch my team play football, which is something that I didn't feel in about 2 years under Fergie, or maybe 18 months if we're going to be a little bit pedantic about it. But now I'm getting carried away, and I think I have every right to, and I'm excited. You know, I like this feeling of being able to think we're going to make the playoffs. We've had such a terrible start to the season, but this league is shit. Like, we're generally, how have we even done this? And where we're secretly going about our business, and we're picking up 3 points all the time, and we're quietly climbing the table, and no one's really paying attention to us yet. And I think that's really dangerous for other teams to be looking at. You know, granted, Rotherham are dog. I mean, they were terrible today. God damn. I mean, again, similar to Reading, they were just fouling our players left, right and centre. I think they picked up 6, 7, 8 yellow cards today. I mean, Jesus Christ, Alex Bass got mugged today multiple times when, I mean, he played some really good balls out from like when they had a corner and he caught the ball and he'd roll it out and get it on quick, or kick it out and get us on the counter attack. And there's so many times where they just, I think 3 times I counted, where they just absolutely bashed into him and hit him in the face or shoved into him, and it's just like dirty tactics. And there was another time with Johnston when he was on the right or on the left, sorry, and he was trying to shield the ball, and they just absolutely clamped into him from the back, and we didn't even get a foul given to us from that. So I thought the ref was okay today. He kind of nipped it in the bud. I mean, they carried on doing it, but he just kept booking them. He was a lot more solid than the ref against Reading. I thought the ref was really poor. So I'm trying to remember what flipping night it was. It was Monday, wasn't it? Yeah. It's obviously all the days of the week are a bit muddled now between Christmas and New Year. And also, Happy New Year to everyone. Blessings to everyone. I hope you all have a brilliant year. And everything that you want to achieve becomes true. And all of that good stuff. I should have probably said that at the start of the video, but I'm just so excited to talk about the football. So yeah, I thought the game, the quality of the game from us was really good. Again, I thought we could have scored 3 or 4, if not 5 goals today, and that's really, really encouraging. Sorry if this intro's been a bit rambly, but I'm kind of getting round to my point in a roundabout way. So we're going to go into the player ratings, and then we're going to finish after that, and I'm going to sort of do a little bit of a preview of the next video that I've got coming out for you guys, which will probably be uploaded the 3rd of January, I'd like to think. Saturday, I think, is the 3rd, so I'll probably upload that then. It's going to be like a transfer special, so I look forward to that. So I'm going to get straight into the player ratings now. Alex Bass, I thought, was absolutely phenomenal today. He made a couple of decent saves. I think there was one in the first half where Matey tried to do sort of like an acrobatic effort, and Bass was in the correct position, claimed it easily. There was another one where in the second half where they tried to little curling shot and he tipped it around the post. Every corner, every free kick, every long throw he claimed with nothing. He probably had 3 or 4 men on him multiple times, and he stayed strong and caught the ball and cleared it up pitch. He was, I'm going to probably say, faultless today. I thought his kicking was a lot better. He picked out the wings, and he picked out the striker multiple times. I don't think any of his kicks actually went off, and he didn't get discouraged from them trying to bully him out of like claiming the crosses. I think what they were trying to do is sort of intimidate him early on, sort of like, you can't come and claim your area, but he stood firm and he made that area his own, and he basically made the Rotherham players his bitch, at certain points in the game. And I was really, really happy with his performance. I mean, because he didn't have that many saves to make, I can't give him like a 10, but I'd quite happily give him... I don't know how high I can go because my emotion is so high right now, but I guess that's the beauty of football, right? I mean, I'm going to give him a 9. I thought he was outstanding today. Someone who was not quite as good, but still better than previous, I thought, was Peter Kioso, a right back. I think he's benefiting from the fact that we have to play Carl Johnson at left back, and the only other right back we have at the club is James Dornelli, who isn't amazing, and he's still young and he can still improve. I thought Kioso was okay today, made some decent overlapping runs, but I just think he's the fall from grace that he's had, not fall from grace, but the difference of when we had him on loan for that half a season compared to now is quite stark, and I think he really peaked and he had like a purple patch in that half a season that he had with us. So yeah, I was relatively happy today with him. I just think he has a lot of work to improve on. I think going forward he's not as good as he used to be, or maybe I was just blinded by that because we had such a good winger in front of him. So I don't know. I thought he was solid today. I mean, the defence didn't really have too much to do, so I'll give him a 6.5. Tom Lees, I thought, again, was good. I'll give him a 7. I thought he was fine today. A typical Tom Lees performance. Pretty much won every single header. Didn't really notice too much from him because, again, they didn't really attack that much. And then next to him, you had Tom O'Connor. And just the biggest compliment I can pay to him is we didn't actually miss a Kagwe that much. I thought it was probably the right decision to take him out now because you were always at risk of overplaying your young players. And considering he didn't really play too much under Fergie, he kind of got shunned out of the team after a couple of ropey performances when we first signed him. I thought it was quite an astute decision by Williams to take him out and give him that rest and sort of be like, you know, your spot in this team isn't under is under threat at all times because we've got Tom O'Connor. It's not that you can't relax at any point. You know, you have to earn your spot and keep it. He's done enough to keep his spot, but I think it was a really good decision to take him out and sort of be like, have a rest, watch the team play this game, and sort of learn from Lees and O'Connor again by just watching. I thought it was a really good decision, and it paid off because I thought Tom O'Connor came in and was his usual self. There was a couple of misplaced passes that I did notice, but defensive work was brilliant. I thought he drove into space the way that Tom O'Connor does. A couple of times, and he drove the ball forward more up the pitch more than a Kagwe does, because that's more his game. You can't really mark a Kagwe down for that now, because that's not really his game. Although I did notice him do it once or twice in his last game, so I think that's something he's really picking up from Tom O'Connor, which is only a good sign. But yeah, back to the people that did play. Yeah, Tom O'Connor was brilliant. I'll give him a 7.5. I thought he came in and did a really, really stellar job, because he hasn't really had any minutes. Has he had any minutes at all since he's come back from injury? I don't think he has. Maybe a sub appearance here and there, but I can't really remember him playing. So on to left back, we had Carl Johnson. Again, I thought was sensational today. You know, like I've praised him enough in the last video, so I don't need to go over it again. He put in a really good performance, and I was just really glad to see him carry on his form. I don't think his winger really got past him at all. I think he really held down that one-on-one battle and sort of just, you know, kind of led him like a dog on a lead. You know, he couldn't get past him, and I was really happy with Carl Johnston. You know, he's just what you want in a player. He don't stop running. He always looks like he's, you know, on the verge of passing out at the end of a game. You know, he leaves it all on the pitch, and he's a proper leader, you know, a real leader on that pitch, and I'm really happy to have him in the team. I think he's kind of showing Kyoso up in a little bit in that way. Kyoso was that sort of captain leader, you know, when we had him before, and he sort of come back and was maybe expecting that to be the same, but now we've got Carl Johnston coming back into the team. I think he's really showing him how it's done and how to lead from the back, I guess. He's a defender, but yeah, again, brilliant. 7.5 from me. So moving into midfield, we had Archie Collins. Brilliant. I thought, you know, there's probably only 2 players that I'm going to mark as bad performances. But I thought Collins was brilliant again. Like I didn't notice him because so he didn't do anything wrong. You know, he's in that engine room where he's getting up and down, and he's breaking up play, and he's, you know, helping the ball come forward. He doesn't go back as much as he used to, and I feel like he's playing them forward passes a lot more. And I was really happy with his performance again today. Pretty much faultless. I think I'd give him an 8, to be honest. Now, the player next to him was a bit of a strange decision, in my opinion. I probably would have played Brandon Keller. I probably would have started him, but Donny O'Brien Brady I've never really been convinced by, and I'm still not convinced now. I think there was one decent bit that he did where he hit the bar, but apart from that, I don't really remember him doing much. So yeah, it was a bit of a strange decision to chuck him straight into a league game like this. I guess we're out of all cups, so it don't really matter. But yeah, like it's yeah, I thought it was a bit of a weird one. I thought he'd either play Garbutt in that role and leave Jimmy J in the 10, or play Keller. So yeah, I thought O'Brien Brady was pretty poor. Like I said, he hit the bar, but even that shot there was like he had so much room, but he stopped on the ball, allowing his defender to get back at him, and then shimmied out and shot. So if he took it in his stride and actually drove into the box, he could have either got a better shot off with a better angle, or crossed it across the box for a better percentage chance. So yeah, I thought it was a strange one for him, really. No, I don't think he was like as bad as he's been in the past, but like that's not really saying much. So I don't really know how to rate him. Probably a 6.5. Maybe a 6. Yeah, I'd probably give him a 6. I thought he was maybe a little bit worse than Kyoso, but I don't know if that's just me sort of marking him down already because he hasn't been very good in the past, and I don't really want to do that. But yeah, again, it was a strange decision. I didn't like he lost the ball quite a lot of times, and he's very like weak in challenges as well. I find so. Yeah, 6 for O'Brien Brady. So let's talk about the attackers now, and this is where it gets quite good. I think. I mean, there's one player that didn't do too well, so I'll start off with him, and that's Gustav Lindgren. Um, I get rotation, right, but playing Gustav up front on his own is never ever going to work, and he was completely ineffective today. I don't want to spend too long on Lindgren because I don't want the tone of this video and the tone of my, and my mood to come down because we were so good today, and I don't want to spend too long on Lindgren, and I don't think it's his fault, so I don't want to rag on him too hard. But yeah, he was ineffective. We were constantly dinking balls into him, and he couldn't win it, and that's not his game either. So yeah, disappointing. I'd give him a 5.5. I thought he was pretty poor, and it got shown levels when Leonard came on. For the first 5 minutes anyway. I'll get on to Leonard, but yeah, Lindgren, yeah, bad. He was bad. So moving on to Lisby. Again, I feel like I'm missing something with Lisby because, especially not today. I haven't seen because I haven't looked on social media. But like people are properly singing his praises, and I just don't get it. He hasn't scored in weeks, and his end product is not good, and he gets in the right positions, and I think he's just someone that the fans like because he sprints and he runs really hard. Now he's still young and he's still raw, so if we can coach that end product into him, he'll be a brilliant winger. But it kind of reminds me of when, I think it was when Mason Clark first joined. He wasn't very good for like the first season, but then he really kicked on after he had a full season, pre-season, and plenty of games under his belt. So I can sort of see that being the same because Lisby's quite powerful and he's quite strong, quite tall and quick, similar to Mason Clark. But I really don't get the heaps of praise that he's been getting recently. And again today, I thought he was okay. Again, it got in the right positions, but his end product just wasn't there at all. I mean, he dribbled into his man loads of times, and his crosses were pretty poor. So I'll probably give him a 6. I don't think he was very good. And Frith on the other side again, I don't think was amazing either. He was okay, I guess. Similar to Frith, didn't really have that end product. He obviously got the assist, I guess you can call it, because the guy stuck it in his own net. But yeah, again, I thought he was just okay. I'd give him a bit more than Lisby. I'll probably give him a 6.5 just because he got that assist, but I just thought he was okay. And last but certainly not least, this is the person that I wanted to talk about the most, Matt Garbett. Jesus, man, you are sensational. Wow, like, I was blown away. That was one of them performances you just step back and just enjoy. You watch him and you think, how on earth is this guy playing in League One? It was kind of like when Ivan Toney played for us. You just looked and thought, he's just so much better than anyone on this pitch, in my opinion. And like, I can only relate it to my personal experience, but like, I play down like football for five-a-side power league, and you'll sometimes play against a player who's he plays semi-pro football, or whatever, like a friend of a friend. You play against them, and they're just so much better than everyone else, and it's like, that is Matthew Garbett. And yes, he's a bit arrogant, but that's the sort of arrogance you need. And honestly, I don't think he really did anything wrong today. I think he might have misplaced 1 or 2 passes, but his play, he was sensational. I mean, like, his tight touches and dribbling and tight errors. I think there's one time he had like 3 men on him, and he just sort of one touch here, one touch there, and then passed it forward. And then I think the player he passed it to lost it. But yeah, he's just so good, man. Like, I can't really think of any really way to fault him. I mean, I questioned him before when he was playing on the wing, and I question his sort of loyalty to this team, and he's repaying that tenfold. You know, he's tracking back, he's tackling, and him playing in that 10 really, really excites me, and he was really good today. I'll give him an 8.5. I mean, I was glad he got subbed off when we were 2-0 up, because you've got to save his legs if you want it, because I think he's going to be one of them players that will just play every single week, and I think it was the right decision to sub him off in the end. Right, guys, you're going to see headphone me for a bit. I'm just jumping in here because I am editing this video right now, and I'm going on to talk about the subs just in this section of the video, and for some reason I just completely didn't mention Brandon Keller. He literally scored the second goal, and I think I focused way too much on Leonard, that I completely forgot we subbed a player on and they scored. So yeah, Brandon Keller I thought was really effective today. I did say earlier in the video that I thought he should start. He's a pure athlete, we all know that, and that finish that he did, he passed it into the corner, and it was not powerful at all. It kind of just trickled in, but they're the sort of finishes you love to see. He was composed on the ball, and he got himself about in the sort of 15-20 minutes that he had, so I was really happy for him to play, and hopefully he can maybe push his way into the starting lineup, because that wouldn't have done him any harm whatsoever. And big credit to him as well, because he's been out of the team for so long, and to come back in and make an impact like that was really good for him. So I'd give him a 7.5. He won us the game pretty much. He secured that win, because I thought before that we were under a little bit of pressure. If they got one goal and the crowd got up for it, they could have maybe got another one, but he really put the game to bed. So yeah, back to normal me without the headphones. Now the subs, I'm not going to talk about the subs too much. The only one I do want to touch on is Harry Leonard. So obviously I mentioned about Lindgren earlier, and the thing I noticed about him, Leonard, literally the first minute he came on, we got a ball dinked up to him, and he managed to sort of wrestle his man away and touch it to the side, and that's something that Lindgren didn't do all game. And I was like, right, this is a proper striker. This is what we need up front if you're going to play a one man up front system. Now Lindgren's brilliant off the bench, don't get me wrong, but up front on his own, starting, nope, not for me. But then after that, Leonard did have his faults of his own. I thought he should have scored a brace today. He went for on goal twice and hit it straight at the keeper. So it was not a good day for Harry Leonard. His link up play was okay, but apart from that, he had a couple of gilt edge opportunities where he really should have scored. I mean, like, he had, especially the first one, he got played through, probably had 10 yards of free space, but he just dribbled it a bit too close to the keeper, and then just hit it straight at him. So yeah, not massively impressive Leonard today, but we all know how good he is and how many goals he's going to score for us this season. So just on today, I'm going to give him a 5.5, I think, just for them 2 chances that he missed. I think were really poor. So yeah, that is my full review of the New Year's Day game against Rotherham. I hope you did enjoy this positive video. If you did, let me know down in the comments. Like the video if you did enjoy it. Also subscribe to the channel if you're new with notification bell turned on. Let's push up to that 400 and really start growing this channel properly. Appreciate you guys sticking around, and I really am enjoying being a Posh fan right now. Cheers.